Welcome back to Share the Pants. Today we're diving into season 20 of Married at First Sight. There are currently 12 episodes out, and we're going to get into some of the more fascinating storylines that we've seen so far.
Yeah, and we made our predictions a few weeks ago, but the most interesting part isn't who stays together or, if we're right about who was kind of doomed from the start, but it's what these couples reveal about how we show up in our relationships, the power struggles, the rigidity, the men who refuse to grow up, the women who find themselves managing, fixing, acting anxiously, fighting for control. So we're not just here to talk shit on their marriages.
I might be a little bit.
Right. Maybe a little. We're going to spill some tea. We're definitely going to give our opinions. But for me, the most fascinating thing is it's like watching, nature documentaries. We're getting to watch human behavior play out on the screen. And I love digging into why I think they're behaving that way and what they should do different. And so it'll be a bit of both.
Yes.
And we're going to start with our favorite couple, Cam and Michelle.
That's right.
And I just have to say props to Joel because this was his number one couple.
That's right.
Prediction-wise.
I saw myself in him.
Yeah, and they're making us cry. They're making us laugh. They're being so sweet. We feel like they are us. We can see. At first, I didn't see myself in her at all, but the more we watch, I'm like, they are us.
Yeah. Yeah. He even drives the same car as me.
He does.
The exact same car.
Yep. Same age as when you met me.
Yep. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And never been in a long-term relationship.
Yep.
So.
Love sports.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I felt good about it. I was like, this guy, he's like me. He just needed to find the right person, and he needed a chance to show himself, because he's probably not the most forward when it comes to, getting into relationships and hitting on girls and whatnot. Takes it seriously. It's not just a willy-nilly. It's not just, I'm just going to date whoever. If I'm going to do this, I want it to be real and I want it to be serious. So I see a lot of that in him.
And I think that's a big reason why they're doing so well is because he's very intentional and she's very intentional.
Yeah.
And she's also this really calming force for him. She's pretty confident. She's got her shit together. She makes really good money. She actually probably makes more money than he does.
Yeah, definitely does.
And she's a bit of a girly girl, which is, fun fact about Joel and I. He never saw himself with a girly girl. And so one day he was confessed that to me. I never really saw myself dating somebody so girly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very girly. She's very bougie. And she's very encouraging to Cam. When he gets a little wobbly or, when they talked about money and it turns out that, she asked for the experts for somebody who makes more money than he does and that she makes quite a bit more money than him. And he got a little insecure.
Right.
And he was, he didn't act out based on that, but you could tell. And she was very encouraging. You provide for me in these other ways. And I still see you as my provider and protector. And I would choose you over this man who makes this amount of money I asked for.
Yeah.
And so.
Which is just heartwarming all around.
Yeah.
For that's so great. This deal breaker, something she asked the experts for. He needs to make X amount of dollars, and he doesn't, and she doesn't care anyways
because they have something really
she's
special.
Being fulfilled.
Yeah, which is it is beautiful, and it's perfect because we all do that. We all go in kind of with the thing we think we want, and you and I are a good example of this too. You didn't get a sporty person who's into all your hobbies.
Right.
And, but we got exactly what we needed anyway. So there are always going to be a little bit of things that are mismatchy, but as long as the core is there, that's what matters.
Right.
And Cam said something because they went to her apartment and she had painted these beautiful paintings. She's artsy, which I'm not that kind of artsy, but I am. I'm an artist at heart, at my soul. And he was talking about how he's just so impressed by her. She's a very impressive, person. And he said, I don't want to say she's too good for me, but I've got to bring my A game every day because she's just so amazing. And that, I feel like that's how I feel about you is you are so impressive to me as a human that I want to make sure I'm bringing my A game every day. And I don't bring my A game every day, but I bring the best I can given the day and what's at hand, because
Nobody can bring their A game every day.
no. But we do the best we can to show up really well for each other because we know what we've got. And like Cam just really like being like, I know what I've got. I'm not going to fuck it up. That is beautiful to watch play out.
Right.
Because there are some other men on the show who are not moving that way at all.
Yeah.
Like, can we move on to Adam and Marissa?
Sure. Yes, please.
Like Adam. So I was like, we're not a fan of Adam. We weren't a fan of Adam from the beginning. Our predictions were, I don't think this is going to go well for him.
It's all me all the time.
Yeah.
And she's been like all about doing what he's been wanting to do the whole time. And finally it just hit a wall. And she's always just kind of been passive and kind of let him take the lead and do whatever he wanted. But it took one of his ideal day is taking the jet skis out to play pickleball for 3 hours, which doesn't play, isn't good at. She's fit, but she's not like, she doesn't work out the way he
works
wants.
out.
Yeah.
He has a very obsessive personality. Like he goes 110 all in on the things that he's like super passionate about. And something that got revealed was that he stopped drinking 2 years ago. And so, that level of obsession is an addiction quality. So I think that once he stopped drinking, he transferred that addictive nature to his hobbies, and like his whole identity is built on his lake house, his jet ski, his pickleball. He wants to play pickleball 5 days a week.
For 3 hours. 3 hours, 5 days a week. Like, and he wants his partner to do that too.
With him.
Yeah, it's not like there's zero compromise with him.
Yeah.
Everything is all
my
what
way
he
or
wants
the highway.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And so and like you said, she's been like going along with it.
Right.
And now she's realized, like, where am I in this relationship? Right. Like, he hasn't gone to brunch with my friends. We haven't had a dinner out. We haven't gone to have cocktails with my friends. I mean, he doesn't drink, but he could have a mocktail or water or whatever he wants to drink.
Yeah.
Like, she's losing herself in this relationship. And they have great chemistry. They're actually like, their vibing is their code word for, I think they're having a lot of sex.
Yeah.
So there's a high level of attraction there and a high level of chemistry, which, everybody wants that. But at the same time, if that's all there is, you get swept up in that sort of like, you get dickmatized. I think she's been dickmatized by Adam.
She was in the beginning. It's finally fading.
Now she's like, uh-oh, I lost myself here, and she's going to have to find her voice and set some boundaries. But he's not making it easy for her at all, because when she's said, I don't feel like we've done anything that I've wanted to do, and I'm scared that if I can't fit your ideal partner that you're not going to be happy. And instead of being like Kim and Michelle, where Michelle's like, you fulfill me in these other ways, and so you're good enough, even though I didn't get exactly what I asked for. He's like, well, my ex did it. Right. Well, this, I don't think I'm going to be fulfilled if you don't play pickleball with me 5 days a week. And that's like an insane expectation.
Yeah.
Like, this man should be single.
And so that brings up the worst thing you could possibly do to your wife. So this whole experiment is just crazy because you get married without seeing.
You get married and then you date.
Yeah, and then you date. Yeah, exactly. So he's comparing her negatively to his ex-girlfriend, who were together for a few years, and she did that. She was on his workout regimen. She did all the things he liked to do all the time, and that's what he wants. That's what he expects.
That's what he expects.
And there's no compromise. There's nothing that's gonna. Like, and it's been brought up, and he won't compromise. Like, they've brought it up to him, the experts, and he hasn't shown yet that he's even willing to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Is we don't know if he's gonna compromise. The kind of where it left off is like him getting the push from the experts to compromise. But also, this was an interesting thing that we talked about as we were watching the show. Joel was getting frustrated. There's 2 experts this year, and they're both new to the show. All the other experts, because the last 2 seasons of this show were complete shit shows. I mean, awful. And so all the experts got fired. I think they moved to a new network, like clean slate. But there's a relationship and sex therapist And then there's a relationship coach. And the therapist, while Marissa and Adam are in session and the therapist is asking reflective questions, repeating back what she heard them say, but not really pushing him she's not calling him out and saying like, okay, Adam, this is an unrealistic expectation. You need to lower this is not a healthy standard. This is crazy. And you were getting so pissed, like, why is she not calling him out? The other guy would have called him out.
Right.
And I was like, this is the perfect example of therapist, coach, right? Like a therapist's job is to ask questions and help lead you to your own answer through self-reflection. Coaches do a bit of that, but we also will tell you the fucking truth, the one you don't want to hear, the one you need to hear, and we'll do it directly, bluntly, and we'll give you homework. Like, you need to do this. I might not say need to, but like I might strongly encourage somebody to take some action. And so I thought it was really cool that you and I got to have that discussion of like, this is the difference between a therapist and a coach. And the coach, he would have called Adam out. He does call people out.
Yeah.
And so, I just thought that was really cool. And, I've said a lot that you couldn't pay me to become a therapist because I literally couldn't stand not being able to say like, listen, we need to have a real come to Jesus moment about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot keep doing this.
Yeah. This is ruining this is why you're still single. Yeah. And if you keep behaving this way, you're likely going to stay single. And it's up to you. Pick which lane you want to be in, but you can't have this and that.
Right.
So up to you, bro. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. And for me, it's an example of like, what did this stuff come up whenever they were interviewing him, whenever they were picking him to be on the show? And there's another example of that with Felipe, where it's like, well, if this isn't your lifestyle, then how are we expected to find you? How is this supposed to be successful? It's almost like it's there just for the drama,
right?
Like just to have a strong personality type that's gonna create views and conversations.
With Felipe, I think they had enough information to know not to cast him.
Yeah.
With Adam, I'm not sure, because I think in his interviews, what we did see initially, when we first started seeing Adam being interviewed for the matchmaking process, I really liked him. He does have a deeper side, and you can tell he's been to therapy. He does somehow have emotional intelligence. Like, he is a self-aware person. I feel like he speaks well. So, like, at first I liked him, but it didn't take long for this other part of him to come out. So in Adam's case, I mean, I don't know, because we didn't get to see everything that happens behind the scenes, but like, I do think that he might have fooled the experts a little bit. Yeah. And then once he's married and, he lets his true self kind of come out, and it's way more intense than he let on. I think he painted a picture of a balanced life and having all of his stuff together. Yeah. I don't think he was able to really. Yeah. But I think.
But she has to love jet skiing every day in the summer, and has to love playing pickleball, and has to love this and love that. Yeah.
It's insane. And I do want to say, just as for a takeaway for people who are out there dating that are single, your hobbies do not make you a person that's good for a relationship. Like, it is great to have some shared hobbies with your partner. That's great. But you need to have hobbies that are just for you, and your partner should have hobbies that are just for them. And like, something I see over and over and over again with people when I'm helping them write their profiles, a lot of people lead talking with their profiles. They just talk about all their hobbies. Well, unless somebody shares those hobbies, that's not connective. Who you are, like what your core values are, what your actual lifestyle is beyond your hobbies, like what you're passionate about, what your quirks are that make you interesting and fascinating. Like, these are things that actually create connection, not hobbies. The only hobbies that create connection are the ones that you do together that you both feel good about. And so he's asking her to connect with him in a way that makes her feel awful. Like, that's not connective, that's disconnective. So like, don't build your whole identity around your hobbies.
Right.
There's much more interesting things about humans than their hobbies.
And just be willing to compromise. Yeah. Be willing to do it twice a week.
Right.
She would probably be, if he were to meet her somewhere close to the middle, she would probably be perfectly fine,
Mm-hmm.
playing pickleball with him twice a week.
Exactly.
And he could do it a couple nights, he could do a couple nights by himself. She didn't have to always be with him all the time. And
Yeah.
that's another just crazy expectation that
he's looking for a person to join his life, not to merge two lives together, which is, if you're single and you want someone just to join your life and do everything you do, that's not wanting a partnership. That's just wanting what? I don't know even what we would call that. Like, you need a dog, that's not a human.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Okay, enough about Adam.
Yeah, so that's not going to work out.
No, we're not thinking that's going to work out. I mean, because I'm the eternal optimist, hopeful one, I will say I am rooting for him to change. I really am. Do I think he's going to? No, but I'm leaving space for like, okay, but maybe he heard something. Maybe he'll self-reflect. Maybe he'll be like, all right, if I want this to work, I am going to have to be flexible. I'd love to see that happen. If it did happen, I think there's a chance they could stay together. Do I think they're going to stay together forever? No.
Yeah.
But I am still rooting for everybody.
I'd be shocked.
Except,
let's just say, put it
that way.
Who am I
not rooting for?
I'd be shocked.
Actually, I think I am still rooting for everybody at this point. Because part of the thing I think I love about the concept of the show is that there are experts involved in the process. This is one of the only shows where there are experts involved in the process of these couples. And
that is the best part of the show, for sure.
I think
it makes it stand out.
I think that's why it makes me like more, because I want to see them, like, they sign up knowing that there are things about them that are going to need to change, and that this experiment is going to give them the ability to grow and become a better partner. And so, like, that's my hope for, like, on The Bachelor, I'm like, send this guy home already. Like, get rid of him, fuck off. But with this show, I'm like, okay, first of all, they're already married. And my heart, I don't want people to get divorced unless they've really exhausted all their options. But also, like, if they can all grow through this process, that, like, lights me up.
Yeah, but I'm more looking out for the better for the better partner, for the one that's actually in it for love, and I don't want to see them go down this road with this fuckhead.
Yeah. That's totally fair and great. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not all the guys that are bad either. It's just what we've kind of gotten into. There's one example that I don't think we're going to get fully into today, but Courtney.
Oh yeah, we're going to do a whole episode on the Nick and Courtney relationship once the whole show's over, because there's so much to break down that it would be, I feel like we need like some deep dives.
Yeah.
There's a lot to dig into there. Yeah, because for most of the couples we don't think are going to work, the guy is the problem child. But in this relationship, Courtney, she's the problem child.
Right.
Okay, so let's move on to Nikki and Sean. And they are the oldest couple. And they are perfect on paper, but they've been having massive fights and having a lot of conflict. As soon as they came on the screen, you were like, I'm so bored. I don't even want to watch them because, like...
Yeah, well, because they're basically forcing intimacy, and it just feels so fake. And they're doing the right, they're saying the right things, but God, it just sounds forced, and like no one's having fun.
Yeah. And like, you're bored and don't want to watch it. And I'm like, oh, I'm so fascinated. Like, I cannot wait to see what unfolds here.
Yeah.
And
so the big thing with them is that she doesn't find him sexually attractive.
Yeah.
And she even in front of the whole group made a short joke about him.
Yeah.
Like, which everyone stood up and defended him. Like,
yeah.
Like, and really, he's been worse. He's been the worst of the two, for sure, between the two of them. But like that, when you do that, it automatically just negative light on you.
Yeah.
So it made her to the group look like she's being the bigger problem of the two of them, which isn't the case.
And in her defense, he was trying to say that she was intimidating him during one of their fights, and she was it was a very defensive comment that she made, but she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm so intimidating. I'm 5'5" standing over you." Like, and she is taller than him, so it wasn't.
I don't think she is. I think she's not. No. She's a little shorter than her. How was that
comment about his height?
Because she's making a joke of his height. It was obvious, but she is a little bit shorter than him. He's like maybe an
But he's
inch.
not very tall.
No.
Okay.
He's
Got it. Yeah. So your take is that he's pretending to get to decision day, but he's going to say no because she's not attracted to him, right?
Right. Well, yes. I just think that's why it's not going to work out in general. But yeah, for me, because when that happened to me, when that happens to me, or in the dating world for most people, again, this is different because they're married already. Yeah. But like, if you don't find me attractive, then I'm not gonna.
What's the point?
Yeah, I'm not gonna keep pursuing it.
Yeah.
Like,
which I think is a healthy.
And you'd really never get on the date in the first place. More than likely.
Yeah. She would
have
never.
You might get a pity swipe and just, okay, we'll see. I might. At least you're moderately attracted to someone if you're on a date with them.
Yeah. No, she would not have swiped right on him.
Definitely not. She would have seen his height.
And been like, I'm done.
And swiped.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And I think this is going to be going to be fascinating to see how it plays out and if that gets revealed, because my take on it, and just to go back to like what you would have done in your dating life, if somebody's not attracted to you, you'd be like, okay, good. That means we're not a match. I'm out. And I think that's a healthy ego standpoint of like, you do need someone to be attracted to you, or it feels good for someone to be attracted to you. But my take on it is that both of these, by the way, Nikki and Sean, a lot of their fights are a power struggle. They both have huge egos. They both think they're hot shit. They both want to be right. They fight because they want to be right. They don't fight as a team attacking a problem. They're just constantly attacking each other. But like, my take on it is I think he has an inflated ego, meaning his self-perception is that he's better than he actually is. Like, he sees himself as superior, as infallible, as, I think he thinks he's God's gift, no matter what his height is. And when you have an inflated ego like that, one of the things that can happen is that if somebody doesn't find you attractive, that becomes a challenge. And it's like your job to prove to them that they are wrong and that you are valuable and that you are attractive. You need their vision to match your vision. And so I think if she gives him any indication that she could change her perception about him, he's going to fight for that because he needs his ego to stay inflated, stay intact. And she's, her vision of him is not his vision of him. And he's like, no. I'm going to prove you wrong. You're going to be attracted to me. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Which I think is clear right now because he's still actively trying to get the sexual stuff on the table, and she's continuing to reject him, but he's not stopping trying. And in fact, he's kind of like upping the ante. Like, they had a makeout session that she actually did enjoy. And the very next day, he's asking her for more.
Mutual masturbation.
Yeah. So he's not like letting things just kind of, he's like trying to prove like, I'm going to win you over. I'm going to get you to want me.
Yeah.
So
they had another fight about like his needs and like, how it's he didn't say wifely duty, but that's how she heard it. He alluded to it, saying that, like, what if we, just put like mutual masturbation on the table? What would you think about a world where we did that?
And you can take care of my needs. That is part of being a wife. Yeah. Yeah. Like, okay, fuck off, dude. I've known you for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever at this point, maybe 6. I don't know. Yeah. So I do think that he's going to keep trying to win her over for his own sense of self-worth, but we'll see how it turns out. I think there's a 50-50 chance that you're right on this and I'm right on this. Like, this is one of those that I'm like, I don't know how it's actually going to play out, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Right. That's just mutual masturbation. It feels like it's a weird, like, way to lean in. I feel like sex is a more natural, like, that's a better easing in conversation. Then you can have the mutual masturbation conversation after the sex.
I know everybody has a different comfort level, but I agree. Like, I'm going to be much more likely to have sex with you than to practice mutual masturbation. Like, that feels more vulnerable.
Yeah, it does.
It feels more exposing.
It is more exposing. Yeah. And especially, I mean, for both probably, in my opinion, I mean, the man just looks, it's an awful look for a guy. It's a beautiful thing for a woman.
Yeah.
But for the man, you're just like, oh.
Yeah, it's not yeah. And that's not going to make her think he's sexier in any way, shape, or form.
No, exactly. Yeah, that would have the opposite effect. Yeah. That's true.
And he said something like, when they were talking about how she was kind of like, I felt like you were trying to escalate things way too fast. Like, I was happy with where how
Right.
things were naturally unfolding.
Yeah.
And
Why
then you
bring
like,
this up?
yeah. And he was like, I'm not thirsty. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, you are,
He's
bro.
been thirsty since day one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think they're going to make it either way, but I am curious. Like, I think if they got to decision day and for some reason she went first, if she said yes, I think he would say yes.
You do? You do?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. But if
I could see that.
But I don't know that. I think she's going to say no regardless. So I think it'll just depend. If she says no first, he's going to say no.
Yeah.
Because that's how he's going to save his ego
Right.
at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of hope she goes first. I don't know. Like, I kind of hope she's going to say no. So actually, I hope he goes first.
Yeah. If you want it to work out, you better hope he goes first.
Yeah, I hope
Or,
he's...
sorry, not work out.
No.
Because it's not going to work out in the long run. I don't think. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it could. Maybe I'm being
Who knows?
too pessimistic.
I mean, they have made a lot of progress. And you think it's fake. I'm not sure it's fake. I do think that the experts like really did give them some good homework and some good frameworks for how to approach each other. And I think that did work.
That's what it feels like they're doing. It just feels like they're doing homework.
But that's part of if you're already married to each other and you don't want to just exit. Like, I think people come into the show for totally different perspectives on. Some people come in and they're like, this is my marriage and I'm going to do everything I can to make it work. Like saying no on decision day doesn't even occur to them. And then there are other people who are like, this is a fun experiment. Maybe it'll work out, but it's not that big a deal if we do get divorced.
Yeah.
And I actually think Nikki and Sean, because they're a little older, they're a little more mature, they're a little more established, they've had more world experience, I think they're more likely to see this as a true marriage and being willing to do whatever it takes to make it work.
Yeah.
But who knows?
If they don't have sex by decision day, he's definitely a no. I think if they do have sex before then he would see it through, but I would almost make a guarantee that by the reunion they won't be together.
Yeah. I think it's going to fall apart by the reunion, but I do think I stand by if she says yes on decision day, he will say yes.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
Right?
I could see that.
We'll see.
I could see that.
Who's next?
What haven't we talked about? Mecca and Bella Jolie.
Yeah.
We could.
This is one of my favorite couples too. I think they're actually super suited for each other.
Yeah, we both think they're going to work out.
Yeah.
He is like, he kind of keeps getting in his own way. And he's got a lot of
wounding, insecurity.
He's got a lot of insecurities that he just has to get through somehow. And she's been super supportive. Yeah. And loving. And I think that actually, in a weird way, is because of self-sabotage. It's almost a turnoff for him. Like he's having a hard time receiving this unconditional love and support from a woman because he's been abandoned by his mom, and the women in his life he hasn't had healthy relationships with women. And so it's like really hard for him to let her in, because if he does let her in, then he has an opportunity to be abandoned again. And that's something that if you've been abandoned, you avoid at all costs. Right. And so like to let her in, I think is the scariest thing in the world to him. Yeah. But if he does it, I think he's going to I think they're both going to thrive. Yeah. And I'm really rooting for them. I think he knows that too deep down.
He's he does know
so
that.
Scared
to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like it's fine to be scared, but you just do it shaking in your boots. You just have to. Right. And he is. I mean, he's not giving up on the process. Yeah. He is staying in it.
He made an early mistake during the honeymoon where he said that he thinks that she's more attracted to him than he is to her, which I think is bullshit. I think it's a lie. I think it's a self-sabotage like type of thing. Like she's just he's never had a girl that's been that into him, and so it scared him. Yeah. And he asked her, he was like, who do you think is more attracted to the other? Which never ask somebody that. Like, why would you do that? Because the answer is going to be hurtful unless it's like we're equally attracted to each other and we're equally in love and we're equal, which is never the case. Usually somebody's ahead of the other person. Which if you're asking that question, that better be your fucking answer. Yeah. The person that's asking it. Yeah. Like just don't ask it. Yeah, don't ask it, but then his answer was, I think you're more into me than I'm into you. And that's basically like saying, I don't know. It's just like, it's like he rejected her unintentionally in a backdoor way. And then she did shut down. She started taking some of her affection
back. She started dialing it back because, like, you don't want to be the one that's running ahead of the other person and waiting for them to catch up to where you are. You want to be kind of like, not exactly even pace, but even enough pace that you're kind of sharing back and forth, you know, that mutual attraction and
Yes.
development of the relationship. Like,
Right.
so it was just a
Right.
bad call. And the
But-
experts did call him out on it. Like,
Yeah.
don't ever ask that. Don't.
Right.
Why did you do that?
And to his
You know?
credit, he became the aggressor on showing affection and
Yeah,
stuff.
when
like,
she pulled back.
Yeah, she pulled back, and because that was her thing. He's like, well, I'm not gonna keep being so upfront about my affection towards you if this is how you feel. And then he stepped up, and so
Which she did the right thing.
yeah,
I
he's made up for it since then.
He has. And one of the things that, going back to the conversation about like the difference between a therapist and a coach, one of the relationship coach did call Mecca out on a behavior, but in front of the entire group. It was like a group therapy session. And the coach very directly said that he felt like Mecca was being performative at a group dinner that they went to, that the experts were kind of secretly watching. And it really embarrassed Mecca. So this is like a coach calling somebody out and it doesn't go well, which as a coach, you take that risk. You know, you tell the truth, but sometimes that does not land well with the client and you have to be ready for that. But I thought it was bad move on the coach's part for doing it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
I think if he had done it in an individual session, that could have gone a different way.
Because they could have just asked him if that's what he was doing, not telling him this is what you did.
Yeah. And it really pissed off Belle because, you know, they do have, I don't know what you would call it. Like, they do have both of them have a very creative, they have a very unique fashion sense.
Mhm.
They are performative in a good way, right? Like, she's a singer. I think he has a lot of artistic interests and hobbies. And like, so that's part of their personality. It's not performative if you're a performer, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's exaggerated, which is what they said.
Yeah, they exaggerate it. You know, they dress up, they dress out. And he was saying things like, he was being expressive, overly expressive about how attracted he is to her.
Yeah.
And I think what the
and
coach
it just came off bad to the audience, basically, or to them, to the coaches.
To the coaches. And I think really what the coach might have been trying to say is like, were you overcompensating because you put her in this position of feeling like she's more attracted to you? Now were you trying to overcompensate and say, you know, what a great ass she has, which is basically what he said. He said it in a different way, but he said it to the whole group. So anyway, I thought Mecca really like did a great job because he, you know, now several episodes later, he told the coach that the coach hurt his feelings and that, you know, and some of the other couples like jumped onto the bandwagon and also agreed they thought Mecca was being performative, and he was really able to say like, that really hurt my feelings. That's, you know, I am an authentic person. I was trying to authentically express myself and to be perceived in a way that isn't who I am. Like, and him and the coach were able to repair and work it out. And like, and that's what you want. You want to see that. So I thought that was a really cool moment to be able to see what it looks like to work with somebody that's a professional that you respect, and for them to hurt your feelings and to be able to say like, that wasn't cool, man. And they were able to like, to work it out. But also I love that Belle like really stuck up for him. She was like, listen, that's how he is behind closed doors. Like, you guys got this one wrong.
Yeah.
And she has his back so much. It's really like, good to see.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So, So we're very hopeful for them, and Cam and Michelle are obvious.
Yeah, obvious. They're going to say yes. No way they're not saying yes on decision day. And there's a lot more going on in this season. There are 3 couples we haven't even talked about today. Felipe and Tori, Nick and Courtney, Devin and Caitlin. And all 3 of them, we're not really sure they're going to make it.
Right. But before we sign off, I just have to say one thing from Devin and Caitlin is he keeps saying, I see you, I hear you, I understand you, over and over again. Anytime there's any sort of deep or conflict or conversation or anything, and it is driving us crazy.
It is driving us crazy. Yeah, that's his way of de-escalating anything she says.
Yeah.
I see you, I hear you, I understand you. But he's saying it so many times it's lost all meaning.
Yeah.
Now it just sounds like, this is what I'm supposed to say, but he's not actually making her feel seen or understood. Even though he's saying those words, it's like, okay, bro, like, shut it. Like, if I were her, I'd be like, if you say that one more time, I am going to lose my shit, you know?
Yeah, right. So we'll get into those 3 couples that we didn't talk about maybe next time or sometime in the near future.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all we got time for today. So
yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.